The video by Learn 21 where we create courses for 21st century skills. So in this video we'll make a small web page, an HTML page of Google's homepage. So very simple for beginners. Anybody who is learning HTML CSS, right, can always see this video and learn how we can make a very simple page, not much complex, but yeah, a lot of different skills or different technologies or features you will learn about HTML CSS. So if you are a beginner, this will really help. So we'll try to make it like this, right, and see what different things we require here. So I have just created a file in Sublime, right, and I will created a new file, right, and then I will save it as uh, Google something demo Google, right, .html. Right, is already there. I had created earlier, right. So the first thing, HTML. If I just type HTML in Sublime, I will get this sort of boilerplate code, right. So this comes. Now I'll say something. You can use other editor as well. I'm using Google Sublime, so you can use any other editor, VS Code or any other editor. Okay, so let's see this file we have created, and if we try to open this file using any browser, if this is an HTML file, should open using a browser, right. Nothing is there because we have not written anything. Remember, whatever we write in head only is the meta information, is now not displayed. Yes, in the title you can see Google homepage. That is what is coming here, right. So first we see this design, a very simple design, but maybe we can divide it into different sections. So this is a nav bar, very simple nav, right. One section can be this, and then this is an image. This can be the second section. There is a search bar, two button, and then this. So I can divide it into one section, and then image section, then this, and then these buttons, and the final here. There is something below also, the footer. I will not do this. Maybe you can do it as the follow-up of this video, right. You can just add this as well, but these 5 sections we should try to complete. So let's see how we can complete those 5 sections. Okay, so first section, now what is it, or maybe not section, I'll say nav, right. So these are semantic tags. We read about these tags which are required to give meaning to the page, right. So they are not any much necessary for the design, but just to give the meaning to the page, right. So I will define that, and also to define the CSS, right, what we can do is use the style tag, right, and style tag I can write in the head section. Okay, and here I can write these sort of. So what we can say is 2 links are there, and then a third sort of link and an image, right. So 4 things are there. We'll start just with the links. So they are very simply anchor tags, right. So one is Gmail and the other one is images, right. Okay, let's see how this comes, right. So we get 2 links, but one they are on the left side, and here they are on the right side, and also there is an underline and some distance is less between them. Yeah, so with the styling, right, with CSS, which is the way we can style any HTML page, we can do this styling. So very simply what we can do is uh, create a class, right. To this element we can give some class name, say navbar only, right, and in the style we can define what style this will have. So we can say dot navbar. So any class that you define, you can start that writing the CSS for that using dot, right. And one thing is it's in the right. So very nice property which comes in CSS is called flex, right. We'll just see in the moment what benefit this gives us, right. So I've given flex, nothing much happens, or these two are just joined, right. But what I can do is maybe justify content, and say right. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay, so these go to right. So you can justify content to the by default is left. You can write center. If I say center, then this will go in the center, right? And if I say right, then it goes in the right. So this justify content we will use, and the display flex. So for the further section, like this section is in the center, this is also in the center, this is also, so all the 4 sections are in the center, this is in the right, and then these are left sort of aligned. So for all these 5 sections we can use display flex. Okay, so sort of some work has been done now, but there is sort of not much gap between the two. So that also we can create using the CSS. But here I am creating a class for this uh, elements, nav links, I can say, right? So any class you can define, and more than one element can have same class. So class is for styling the elements, right? So here I defined a new class, and I am going to style this, right? So one is that there should be some margin between the two, right? So the margin, how we can define is just say margin right, and I'll give some sort of pixel to it, maybe 5 pixel, right? So now I get some margin, right? Some margin, and yeah, but still this is sort of from the top also I can see some margin, right? So if you don't know about margin, padding, border, you should check the there is something called in CSS a border box, right? A box model, right? So you should check that how that works. Generally, it's like the painting is there. So the internal, the real a framed painting is there. So internal painting is the content. Then there is a padding. Then there is the border, and then margin. So margin is separating one painting from the other painting. Suppose there are 2 paintings on a wall, so that's what margin is, right? So here we are giving some margin on the top also, because we can see that there is some space in the top, right? So this comes down, and similarly then you can add this sort of a button and some image as well. So I will not complete that, but just sort of some a resemblance to this comes, right? One small thing is this underline, if you want to change, and or the color you want to change, very simply you can say, maybe if you want to make it black, right, you can say black, and if underline you want to remove, you can say text decoration none, right? So this removes the underline from these sort of, yeah, right? Or on the hover you want the decoration, so what you can say, mm, nav link hover, right, and text decoration, and it gives you all the sort of, so you can say underline. So on the hover of this link I will see one underline, let's see, right? So this is how Google page also looks. On the hover you can add the underline. Here also I wrote the CSS like on hover of any element of this class, right, have underline, without hover have no underline, right? And also you can then adjust the spacing if you think still the space is more, of course we can add more margin, right? Because as an HTML developer or CSS developer, you will be given designs, and your job will be to create something which is very similar to the design. So if this is our design, then our job will be to create something which looks like this, right? Still you can see there's a lot of difference, right? But anyway, just want to show the on like 80-90% you are there. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the image. Okay, so this section is done, right? Next we will move to the section which we call home page image. So any name, I'm just saying h_image, you can give whatever name you want, right? And what HTML it will have an image tag, right? And source will have to have some Google image. So I'll just get one Google image logo, right? So I'll just take some, if I can get logo, right. So these images are copyrighted, right? So this is just for demo purposes I'm showing. Of course you can, so I added that image and then it comes like so. So big image has come, right. Now we'll have to adjust the sort of the width and the height, but we'll just first make it display flex, right. Again, what you have to do, display flex, and another thing is the justify content, and this should be center. Let's see if it helps. Again, the size of the image is very large, so we have to change the size. Maybe I can say width is say 300 pixel. Let's see what happens now. Okay, great. And if we compare with the main the real, I think this is somewhere close, or maybe if I set 280 pixels, you can, of course you can check also what is the real dimension. You can always do inspect element on the real design and see the width of the image. So it's actually 272 into 92. 272 is the width, 92 is the height. If you want to exactly make it like that, I can also do 272, right. Let's see. Okay, so now it's exactly like the Google homepage, but you can see this is sort of a bit on the top. We have to take it in the, to push it down, right. So this is on the in the real homepage, it's little bottom. So how we can do that, right. So here what we can add is maybe some padding, right. So let's say I add some padding on the top of say 200 pixel. Let's see what happens. Okay, great. So we get some distance, right, from the top, very similar to the real homepage. Just added some padding. So if you want the padding border uh, model which I was talking about, very simple, right. So this is the model. You have the content, then padding, then border and the margin. So the content was our image, and there was less padding, so we added padding, so content pushed a little bit below. That's what happened here. And to see any box model, you can do inspect element, and in the where is it, right, yeah, in the layout. So this is for Firefox. If you are using some other browser, I'm sure there also you can see the box model. So this is my box model for this element, right. And it says the width is 272 and the padding is 0. Okay, so I think for this section padding is added, not for the image. Okay, for this section you can see 200 padding. This is what we added, right. The colors are also different. Blue is the content, 200 is the padding, and then border and the margin, right. So here we got this. So I think more or less we are there. Next we have to add an input box, right. Let's see, let's move on. And also you see our code is very simple, right. There's not much of a complexity there. And if you open Google's homepage, if I do page view page source, I will see this, right. A very complicated task. Of course they must be doing some other thing. So we cannot copy paste code from other sites and then see, right, how they are working. Of course we can see how they are working, but not blindly copy paste their code, because then a lot of things which we don't need will also come, right. And that will create unnecessary load on your machine, which you don't want. Okay, now let's move on and try to create this input box. I'll call this section as homepage input. Any name you can give, right. So this is for styling, and remember, for any class styling you have to use dot and the class name, which is h input in this case. right? And then again, this I think goes without saying, always we have to do center, because that's how the design is, right? If the design was different, we would have done different. And then there is what, an input box here, and yeah, input, you can say type equal to text, right? You add text sort of value, and something else, nothing, right? Just another button that will come to later, right? So just a text box. Let's see how this comes. So in HTML CSS, you have to keep on sort of creating it, writing the HTML and seeing the output, and then modifying the output basis that. So the input box has come, but it's different here, right? The width is very large, right? We'll see how much is the width uh, of this input box. It's yeah, the total width is somewhere around 582, or how much is it? 582 cross 44. So width is 582, and maybe I can give this also some class input search, right? So I'll just try to separate the HTML and the CSS, because if they are same, then it is very difficult to change also, and separate the different languages, right? Maybe this CSS some other file of yours can also use, then if you have to change, you'll have to change it multiple places, right? 544 is the width. Let's see if we give the width, right? So we got the width, the width is that, and the height is also sort of how much, I thought 44, right? 44 is the height. uh, can I give the height as well? Okay, 582, not 5. Okay, 582 into 44. Okay, the box looks okay, but there is some sort of space between the box and the this, right, Google. So we can add what, we can add some margin top, right? Say 15 pixels, right? So now there is some space, maybe more we should add, just comparing it with the original design. Okay, not bad. You can also check, so they are adding a padding of how much, right? You can check the box model, that is 20. So some 20 padding is there, 25 margins we have added, right? So no issue. Also the corners are rounded, so very simple CSS property is there. So all these what you are saying here, these are all CSS properties, and these are the values of the properties, right? There are multiple properties, so more you will learn CSS, then you will understand all the properties. Right now I'll just try to give it some other property, which is called border radius, right? Let's see if this works. So I will just give 10 pixels, because the border radius, borders are right rounded again, yes. So maybe more, right? And also you can check in with the original design, how much is the border radius. uh, Here the design also comes, right? Border radius 24 pixel, and sometimes you can copy that as well. It's 24 pixel, right? But what I believe is you should write your own CSS, because then you know what you have written. In the future, if you have to change, you can always change. Yeah, so this is how the border is in the original Google design, right? And yeah, one thing missing is the sort of this what you can say, a small lens, right? That lens is missing. Rest our page doesn't look very different. One black kind of I don't know, some shadow or something is coming. uh, Not sure why this is there. Right, so no problem, I think that we can live with, and later we can see how we can improve it. Of course, you first design a simple structure should be like the original design, and then smaller final changes you have to do, like you do a painting, right? First you design, and then slowly you improve on the design, right? First go, if you are thinking you will get the right design, that's different. Anyway, moving on to how we can add this sort of small lens here. So what I think they have done is they have added it in the background, right? So any element in HTML you can add a background image, so that's what they have done. Let's see if we can also use that. So here I will say background image, and so I have downloaded one image, right? You can also download, or I will link it, s.png. I downloaded it from somewhere. You can say background image and then the URL of the image, right? So if you have in local, you can just say this, right? Okay, so this is so this is another property which says background repeat, right? So should the image repeat? You say no repeat, right? So image will not repeat. Let's see now how our, so image is not repeating, great, but the positioning is a little bit different, so that also you can say background position, right? Very nice, different properties. You can say the x and the y coordinate, so maybe just I'll say 2 pixel and 3 pixel, and then slowly I will try to adjust it. Okay, I think I have to go a little down, so I will increase the y or decrease the y. Let's see. Okay, it's going up, maybe I should increase the y. Okay, it's coming down. Let's see. Okay, great. And x also I will try to increase, because as per the original design also, you can see this arrow is a little bit inside, right? It's not exactly on the, but yeah, one sort of problem we have run into is that our search is starting from there, but in Google the search is starting after the arrow, and that's how it should be, because the arrow is just depicting that here you have to search, right? If anybody comes for the first time, of course everyone now knows Google, but yeah, how the design is, if you are coming, you should be able to search. So that small sort of again addition to the to the to the design we have to add. What we can do here, I think, is add some padding left, and I will add 20 pixel, right? Again the padding border, that concept remains, right? Again now you are seeing we are starting from a little bit right of the input box, right? Again, and you can add as much you want, right? Whatever is the right way, right? Of course this image is also downloading every time, right? So what we can do is download it once and use that only. What I can do is just hit this URL and download this image, right? I can say g.png, right? Replace, I already have it, and rather than always going to the external service which causes some network connection and downloading and right. Okay, great. Okay, I think the image was okay, the network was okay, just the image is big in size, right? I think it's very big in size. The size is how much, right? Okay, this is 500 KB, 480 KB, not that much. Anyway, I think some time it takes, no problem. So we got the, so here we can search also the, maybe the font size is little lesser in R1, and that also we can increase, no problem. We can say font size and whatever say you want, 16 pixels, right? In that input box I can have the font size increased, right? What is Google, right? Very similar to Google, right? So I think the third section is also done. Now we have to have 2 buttons and then the final section. Okay, moving on, quickly sort of finishing. The third section is the search buttons, right? And there are 2 buttons. So button tag you can use, right? What does it say? Google search, and the second one says I am feeling lucky. I don't know why this I am feeling lucky is there. I have not ever used it, right? But they keep it, I don't know, from some legacy days with some sort of fancy. Let's see how this comes. Okay, the buttons are coming here, so you know how to fix this, right? Same as we are doing, we can use the display flex and justify content. So I'll just copy this, right? And maybe full I should copy because the margin is also there, right? Okay, got it. But the buttons are bigger and maybe some padding is also there, right? And there's a difference, there's some space between the 2 buttons, right? And in our case the space is not there. So what I will do is in the buttons I will give the class, like in the anchor tags here I give some class. So I will say s button and the same class I will give here, right? So that's how you do it. Keep on giving some class names and then some CSS you define to that button. Simple CSS, I will say margin right, some 3 pixels, not that much. Also some padding I will add, so I will say padding, I will add say 5 pixels, right? And then I will see how it looks and adjust accordingly, right? Okay, not looking too bad, right? But I think padding is more, so I will increase it further, so maybe 8, and I will also increase the margin right, so say 5, right? Let's see. Okay, much closer, right? And the colors, etc. Also you can see when I go there's a hand sort of comes there, so that also you can control using another CSS property which is called cursor, and you can say pointer, right? Let's see, now the hand comes, right? Now the hand comes. Earlier the hand was not coming, now the hand is there, and the color a little bit different, right? That also you can set the background color, and exactly like Google, if you want to set, you can check inspect element, and I think this is the color, and very simply what we can say is background color is this. Of course if Google has copyrighted this color, I'm not sure. Right, this is for learning purpose, yes. So this is the color of Google, right, what they are using. So we are using that, and the text color is also different, right? And the font will also be different. That's why it's coming not exactly like the real, right? The font is also different, but yeah, you know how to do this. And now the next section, I think, will add the final links, right? Very simple, again repeating another section, and I can say what this is name the section very descriptive. So this is language links, right? And then there are a lot of links, right? And say a href, you can add anchor tags only, right? And I will copy this, right, because cannot, so I can say Google offered in, and then different links, right? And I will not take all, just for demo purpose I'll just take 3 5, right, link, and just adding some sort of basic tags so you can see them, right? Let's see how it looks. Okay, again, right, language links, you know what to do. Very simple, very similar, right? These three anyway remain: display flex and margin top and justify content center, right? Now just the only thing is that there is sort of no space between the two in, right, what how the main is, right, in, and then there is space between all these, right? Or you can just add some margin. So again, this I will add link language link class to all the links, because all the links will have the same styling, right? What happened? Okay, and here I will define the style, the CSS, so language link, and some margin, right? Margin right only I will give, so 3 pixel, not too much space between the links, but yeah, maybe more, right? Also text decoration none, this is a common property used a lot. Where is it? Because again the reason remains the same, that you want to have least amount of sort of see, different features on your page, so page looks clean, right? Great. And a little bit more margin we can add, right? Now looking right, and if you want to add after in also, there is something called non-breaking space that you also can add, right? That also you can add, that will give some. So yeah, this is it, right? Very similar looking page to Google's home page, right? And also this is responsive. If I just make it smaller, you can see this the search bar is becoming smaller, right? So that's very nice feature, because today any page you make, it might be viewed in mobile, right? Most people are accessing the internet using mobile, so you have to make a page which works well in the mobile as well. It should not break, because mobile screen is smaller than the desktop. Mostly we do coding on the desktop, so sometimes we miss, but this flex, display flex, really helps us. And then the different CSS properties also help. So yeah, this is it. I'll put this code also in the description if you want to have a look, right? But that's how using CSS properties and looking at the design, you can also very similarly create similar design to the design you have given. And yeah, finer points will be there. First you create a 90% looking similar design, and then slowly it will take some more time to make it exactly like the real design. So yeah, this is it. If you have any question, please in the comment, and also share and subscribe for more such videos. Thanks a lot, guys.